Well, hello, guys. John DeLemme here, the founder of Conservative Business Journal and the host of the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. And I'm excited tonight. You know, we're a no-holds-barred, uncensored, fully independent news media outlet, which means we're not controlled by big tech or controlled by fake sponsors. And I'm excited to bring to you tonight one of the most heartfelt stories. We consider Maureen and Sabine friends. You see those lovely ladies here on the screen with me tonight. And tonight we're gonna discuss the situation in their lives. When you're gonna hear from Maureen about her son that was brutally killed by an illegal alien. That's what they are. And Sabine, or her son, was killed by an illegal alien. And we're excited to have them, to feature them as big name speakers. If you want to get on my ninth nerve, and people go, well, who's your big name speaker at your event? Maureen and Sabine. Who's your keynote speaker? Maloney and Coulter. You don't know them? What do you want? Some wannabe pundit that's paid off? We the people. It's all about We the People Fight Back event, because right now there's a war in this country. And I want to thank all of our supporters and sponsors that enable us to do our events, enable us to keep the show live. And I'm excited for the thousands of you that now are streaming on Rumble Live. I've YouTube is a joke. You say illegal aliens and they strike you, and Facebook is massively censored. I mean, Twitter's a joke. I want to thank those of you who follow me on Telegram. So tonight, we're going to discuss the topic of border crossing. We're going to discuss the horrific situation right now at the border. But first, I want to start off by welcoming Maureen from Massachusetts and Sabine from Arkansas. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having me.
Hi there. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely.
So, tonight, as I always share on all my shows, I want you guys to grab a pen that writes and take some notes. I want to start off with the two words, illegal aliens. Write that down, and we're going to discuss that. And Maureen, I'd like to share first a little bit of your story. And I actually have an article here that I printed out when you were booed. When it says right here, it's great. It says, "Booing won't stop this mom." And your son was brutally killed. Matthew Denise was killed. It'll be 10 years coming up. We just found out tonight, actually, the anniversary will be 10 years at our event, at We the People Fight Back event, August 20th. And wow, we just heard that, Chrissy, tonight, right? And like you said, it was meant for you to be there. So can you share with everyone just the story of your son and what occurred, and then we'll move on to Sabine's story with Dom, and then we'll unpack obviously how you guys feel about the border and so forth.
Well, Matthew was 23 years old, and Matthew was one of those people who, from the day he was born, he was always smiling, and people gravitated towards him. He would walk into a room and everybody's smile would light up. Everybody loved Matthew. In high school, he was voted the most dependable. He had just graduated college when he was killed. He was actually coming home from helping.
And Maureen, just real quick, and that's Matthew over your shoulder there, correct?
Yes, it is Matthew. That's actually that side. That's actually the one of the last pictures I have of him. That's his college graduation. He had graduated college 3 months before he was killed, and he had been helping one of his friends work on his mother's car. And he was driving home. He was 2 miles from home in a residential area when a drunk, criminal, unlicensed, illegal alien ran through a stop sign and collided with Matthew's motorcycle. Now, because it was in a residential area, it was a low-impact collision, and Matthew landed on the truck and rolled off into the street, and witnesses saw him getting up out of the street when the illegal alien made the fatal decision to flee. And when he did, he ran Matthew over, and Matthew got trapped under the truck and was dragged a quarter of a mile to his death, while residents, because it was a nice summer evening, people were outside barbecuing, people were banging on the truck trying to get this illegal alien to stop. And he didn't. And at one point he ran off the road and Matthew became dislodged. And then he just continued to flee and left Matthew dying on the sidewalk.
Well, and even as, Sabine, obviously you hear that story and it's very emotional for everyone, and it's emotional, and we love you, Maureen, and everyone at our event's going to love on you and care about you. And this is the topic of illegal alien is not discussed. They won't even say it on any other, news media outlet. I had a town hall last night in Hialeah, Florida, about Cuba and communism. And obviously, Sabine, you met Frank at our event, and he's from Cuba. So,
Yeah.
So Sabine, share your story about Awesome Dom and Dom Hugs, and what's, that was 9 years ago, I believe. Your son was killed.
We just had the 9th anniversary on July 12th. So 9 years ago, Dominic was, he's right there, my German chocolate. He was born in Germany, spoke fluent German, English, not even an accent. Imagine that. His mother has an accent. He didn't. And the love of my life, my best friend, him and I shared a household. And he worked for the sheriff's department as a 911 dispatcher. And he was on his way to work on July 12, 2012, Moreno Valley, California. It was 5:45 a.m. heading to the dispatch center, and an illegal alien, same as Maureen, no license, no insurance, had previous felonies, 2 DUIs, which he always received probation for, turned his uninsured truck right in front of Dominic and hit him so hard that he killed him instantly and threw him into a wall on the sidewalk. And that's where his lifeless body laid. And the illegal tried to run away. And thankfully, there were 2 Marines behind him in a car. And one stayed with Dominic. The other one ran after the illegal and stopped him. The DA knew him. The judges knew him. They used my shock, my absolute disbelief that this just happened. My only child was ripped out of his life and my life. Thousands of people that knew him. He was very popular. He was a volunteer of the year. He was working with the fire department. He was to become a motorcycle cop and then helicopter pilot. And the guy got a deal from the judge for a misdemeanor. If he pleads guilty, he got a misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter. And he was supposed to serve 9 months and 5-year probation, and he served 35 days.
Wow, 35 days. That's something. That's what we're going to discuss about the sanctuary cities and how the illegal aliens are given so many rights. It's just brutal.
They get treated better than any American. If an American would have hit Dominic, it would have been a normal accident, which I get it. They happen, and I could live with that. But this was preventable because the guy, they had him numerous times on armed robbery, grand theft, and he got to stay. He got deported. He came back. He had DUIs. They let him stay. He had different names. He knew how to play the game and had us taxpayers and Dominic's tax money that he paid into the system, paid for this guy's translator because he claimed not to speak English at the hearing. And he did speak English, which we later found out. So it's a game they play, and our children, our sons, and Maureen and I met and became best of friends because we have that one thing in common. We both lost our sons because of somebody that's not even supposed to be here.
I mean, and that's something too. I want to discuss the word illegal alien. Maureen, when I mentioned the word, and everyone listening to you have to realize illegal alien, and then and something we just said too. You said Sabine is the sentence, and Maureen, what was the sentence for your son's? I like to use the word, obviously, the illegal alien that killed your son.
He is in jail, but Matthew was the 3rd person to be killed by an illegal alien in a 2-year period in the town that I live in. Maureen LeCaire, her brother, was the first of the 3 to be killed. Sure. So by the time Matthew was killed, the town was in such an uproar. They had me going on the news and asking people to calm down and not to start riots. And I didn't want Matthew to be associated with any riots going on in our town. So this was a high-profile case in our area because there had been other illegal alien killings. So he did get 10 to 12 years in jail, so he could be getting out anytime.
Which maybe it's 10 years, but once again, I want you guys to realize, once you write it down, they're preventable. It's not an accident. They're preventable because they should not have been here.
Yeah.
And Sabine, we talk about the word illegal alien, and we're very, just those two words. People always say, John, why are you banned and censored? Because there's four things the regular media and wannabe, all the wannabe pundits and wannabe so-called conservatives. We're in, for those of you that follow the Bible and the biblical word, we're in a Daniel season, we're in a David and Goliath season, we're in a Gideon season. Those who will stand for justice and righteousness are going to be risen up while people won't cower down. There's four things you can't talk about: election fraud, election integrity, communism, abortion, or illegal alien. Four things you can't talk about because they censor your voice because they're scared. But share with everyone, Sabine, just when when I say the word illegal alien to you, and I know you went through a lot, and in 2016 you actually spoke at the Republican National Convention for our President Trump, who did win the election. He got, I believe, close to 100 million votes.
Oh, yeah.
And so share with everyone what was going in your life in 2016, and you were literally about to commit suicide, to take your own life because of just the brutal effects, the justice system.
Well, and you mentioned the word illegal alien. For me, if somebody calls an illegal alien a undocumented immigrant, it is a slap in my face and in the faces of every legal immigrant that stands in line, applies, goes by the laws, doesn't break them, files paperwork. Took me 6 years to become a citizen of America. And I take pride in that. So the word is illegal alien. It's lawful. It's not a racist term because illegal alien is still not a race. And when Dominic was killed, and
wait, Sabine, let's back up a little bit. Say what you just stated, please. What's not a race?
Illegal is not a race. So
that's
not a racist term.
Yeah, that's real good.
People, I get called racist. I know Maureen gets called racist. And I point to my son and I said, racist, my husband is Black. Yeah, try something else. And the word racist is used to shut us up. It doesn't mean anything anymore. When they call us, you, Maureen, and anybody else talking about this issue and a racist, all they want is for us to defend ourselves and get away from the subject. And we're not doing that. We're sticking with what we're talking about because we know what we're dealing with because we're living it 24/7 every day.
So look how this, everyone listening, how ludicrous. And those of you listening to this on the audio, obviously you cannot see the picture, but in the video, I made the screen wide here now. That's your son, Dom. And he obviously is a dark-skinned, great-looking young man who's up in heaven right now going, Mama, keep preaching, keep teaching, keep sharing, keep exposing. He's cheering you on from the bleachers in heaven. And I know my grandpa, the Papa's up there, probably smacking him on the back, going, Dom, get Dom, go Dom, because my grandfather Papa is a legal immigrant.
Yeah.
And I met someone last night. His name is Angel, actually, who reminded me of my grandfather. Right, Christy? He showed no emotion. He loved his kids. His two little grandgirls. He probably saw the video of the two little girls from last night's town hall on communism.
Yes, with the faces. Yes.
They were, I think, 7 and 6. They were there the entire 75 minutes during the town hall. They sat in the back of the room and they were with their dad and grandfather. He just sat there like that, the grandfather. But he goes, I'm going to this meeting. I'm bringing my grandkids. And his dad was concerned. But it's interesting. The girls jumped up, put their hand over their heart, and you could tell the grandfather was pouring into them because he's a legal immigrant from Cuba. And he goes, it's important that we expose our girls and our grandkids what's going on in America. And I think it's very important for all of you, especially for, I mean, look at the ludicrousness that they call Sabine a racist. And her son is obviously a little darker than me. So that's when I use the racist card. It is the most ignorant, stupid statement possible.
And then for immigrants that came here legally and went through the process and spent a lot of money and time, we take our citizenship very serious. I take the flag serious. I don't take America for granted. I wasn't born into this country, but I had to earn my way in. So yeah, I'm pretty ticked off, and that's the mild version of how I feel, that people are just flooding our country who never paid a dime into it, who didn't stand in line, who weren't background checked, who come in sick, and just bring their whole family and then claim amnesty for what? just because they want to be here, because they get everything for free. It doesn't work that way. It
That's
doesn't
right.
work like that in normal life, because nobody at home would appreciate if 20 people just bust through their front door, sit down, and now ask for the Medicare card and for cash and for some, give me the doctor's address. And by the way, hand me over the keys to your car. Nobody would do it. But this is
that's right. And it's amazing too for everyone listening. Make sure you do share this video, obviously live right now, and a replay. Those of you on Telegram, forward it out to any groups you're in, and forward it out to your contacts. Those of you on Rumble, we have more people on Rumble right now live than all the other streams put together. So make sure those of you on Rumble join the chat. Those of you have any issues, you guys can go to rumble.com and just search CBJ Real News, CBJ Real News. That's our channel on Rumble. And it's very important because in one thing, you guys don't even know this. Remember the time we had an opportunity, they said, well, if you remove, first time I want to share this live, if you remove all of your illegal alien interviews on YouTube, we could potentially put you live back on, right, Christy? And I said, are you kidding me? But that's the guys, look, and all of you, that's why there's such a moving here.
Yeah.
Because so-called news pundits or some rhinos, which are worse than communists, they don't even talk about this. The number one problem right now in America is the tsunami of illegal aliens coming across the border. And we will call Governor Abbott out, right? Put the National Guard on the border, Abbott. You could build a wall in a second. That is just a fact. And Maureen, when you were booed, and I actually have this article that's obviously online. It says, it was in the Boston Herald, which is obviously a very liberal paper, but it says booing won't stop this mom. You got booed. The strength of you as a mama bear for your awesome son, that we're going to make sure we're going to have some serious prayer warriors at this event. We're going to have Francine and Alan pray. They're up front in the prophetic. They're going to pray. But that's going to be some event, right, Christy? I mean, you are a warrior, Maureen, a warrior.
And John, you know that we have an organization, AVIAC, Advocates for Victims of Illegal Alien Crime. AVIAC has been shut down on Twitter. They won't give us any reasons why we're shut down. I mean, we know it probably has to do with using the word illegal alien and the content that we post, but they have shut us down. Facebook, we're a nonprofit organization. We have all our papers. Facebook has taken away our ability to collect donations on Facebook. We are being shut down too. The social media is trying to shut down all conservative voices out there. And yes, I was booed. I was testifying at the State House, opposing driver's licenses for illegal aliens. And we were outnumbered. They were busing in the illegal aliens, bringing these non-English speaking people in who need a translator, and they have 3 kids on their hip, pulling the, the sob story. But I was booed, and not one of the legislators up there said anything about it.
It's amazing.
When the other side was up there speaking, if there was any noises at all from the audience, right away they'd have the gavel and they'd be pounding it, saying, you have to be quiet. They only gave us 3 minutes each to talk. So when I was booed, I just kept speaking. There was no way I was letting them eat into any of my 3 minutes of testimony time.
So you were saying that they actually, in Sabine, I imagine if you were there, Helga would have came out. Helga and Italian would have came out, and you would have had my grandfather and your son together.
That's one thing. We have a bond with each other because we know what the other one is going through. So if one is getting booed, the other one would have started putting on some combat boots, vice versa. And I know Maureen fights for me and I fight for her. And I think people realize that once you lose your child like that, or any reason you lose a child, there's just no other pain you can inflict. So now we lost our child because our sons, because of an illegal alien. Oh, you done woke up the wrong mama. You woke up a sleeping child, and they can't, no matter what they do, the threats, we get death threats. We get threats when we walk through an airport if they recognize us. It doesn't matter. They don't realize we get stronger with every boo. And I remember when that happened to Maureen, I was crying because it's such a horrible feeling when you feel you're all by yourself. But she knew she had a lot of us right behind her. Whether we were there in thought or prayer, we were right there with her. We stick together.
And that's why you guys definitely have to get a profile on Telegram for Aviac. If you don't have one now, you have one. You got to start Telegram. Make sure all of you that are on Telegram, just search out CBJ Real News. You see, obviously that's who we are. CBJ Real News. Join channel, share the episode, and obviously share what's going on now, because they're not changing. Facebook. I mean, today on Twitter, I don't want to go down to the election fraud area, but today on Twitter, they shut down a bunch of the Maricopa County audit accounts. Yeah. I mean, they're so scared. I mean, you know, we have an open forum. Come to our event. We the people fight back. And interesting too, we look at our event. We have Alex from Serbia, legal immigrant. Eric Corcoran, legal immigrant from Ireland. I spoke to him tonight. You're gonna love Eric as a fireball. Alex is kind of unique. I'm just kidding. Alex is awesome. Frank, legal immigrant who runs firearmsamerica.org. You've probably seen that click video where he's got there'll be more firearms at our event than you could humanly imagine. Because I believe in the Second Amendment. It's the shortest Second Amendment. It's the shortest amendment. And then we have Dr. Olga from Serbia, who's obviously a fireball. Oh, yeah. And then it's important, guys. All you have to realize that this topic of illegal alien and the death of a child, that's preventable. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. Judy Zito, we love you. And I know I sound Cajun now. Thank you for the awesome gifts you sent us. Judy was one of our featured speakers. It should be back once again at one of our next We the People Fight Back events. No, we love Judy Zito. I think she says y'all. Yeah. If it's every other, so imagine my mother-in-law and Judy talking. Sabine, you would leave like this, y'all.
My southern accent would get a little stronger.
But I tell you, that's why, you know, it's so important for every one of you to stand up and have zero compassion. Like you said, Maureen, I want you to expand upon it. They had 3 kids on the hips. And like you say, my son had a dream. He was a dreamer. I love that quote from you, Sabine. All the dreamer crap. I mean, it's crap. It's important for all of you to realize that we all have dreams. So share with everyone, excuse me, Maureen, when you said that they brought a bunch of people into that courtroom to kind of play the compassion.
I've testified many times against the driver's license bill and sanctuary state bills here in Massachusetts, and they always bust these illegal aliens in.
What is the bill? It's funny, Joe. What is the bill about? What do you testify against?
The one bill is to give illegal aliens a driver's license, because right now they're not entitled to a driver's license here in Massachusetts. And then the other one is.
But I got to interject for a second. I like to ask anybody with a sound mind. They're illegal. Why should they have a license to drive in the United States?
Well, they're saying things like they need to take their kids to the doctors. They need to get to work, jobs they shouldn't even be working at.
Yeah.
Right. They're probably working, off the books, not paying taxes. And then they're collecting welfare for their American-born kids. The guy that killed my son, him and his wife were off the books. They had an American-born son that they were collecting welfare for. They were in subsidized housing. And the illegal alien that killed my son was on Medicaid. He had a Medicaid card in his wallet when he killed Matthew. And here was Matthew paying for his own health insurance because he had just graduated college.
And that's why I made the screen wide again, just to show your awesome son there. Matthew's up in heaven right now, hanging out with my grandfather, Papa, and who's a legal immigrant. I got the paper right here from Italy. Got the picture right here in our desk.
And, Matthew was a very conservative young man. He wanted to be a police officer. He had taken the civil service exam, and I found out when he was killed that he would have been called up within a few weeks to be interviewed for a police officer's job in our town. And when he was buried, the police chief buried him with a badge.
Oh. I mean, I give you ladies so much strength, right, Christy? Yeah. I mean, so much strength. And all of you that are out listening here tonight, you have to join the army at Conservative Business Journal and the CBJ Real News. You have to say everywhere you go, do you have your legal papers? I know people who've lost their children to illegal aliens. I don't want it to happen to you. And you got legal immigration. Legal there's no, John, no, there's zero compassion, and zero exceptions. And you don't have to pray for me. I know I'm a Christian. Don't use the Christian card, because what would Jesus do? Legal immigration, especially right now. And this is going to be a real strong topic. And guys, once again, Sabine and Maureen will be live at our We the People Fight Back event. Our early bird pricing ends August 1st. We only have, I believe, 20 tickets remaining as it is, right, Christy? We have 20 VIP tickets remaining. And tonight in the show, we're going to give a great special. You get one of our We the People shirts as a bonus, which is awesome. One of our We the People shirts.
Very nice.
As a bonus. So make sure you guys call or text 561-847-3467. Or to secure your ticket, go to WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com, WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com. But this is a topic that you will rarely hear unpacked at such a depth of a level, especially at our event. You know, obviously, Sabine, you speak at many events. The depth that we have no holds barred, uncensored exposure of what's going on, because you have to hear the truth to identify the brutality of what's going on. So I know, Maureen, you're famous in one of our last interviews when you're a registered nurse, correct, Maureen?
I'm a nurse practitioner. And
you said, I guess about a year ago on one of the show, this was when Biden was, I mean, he didn't win. He's just a criminal. I mean, he's a front man for organized crime. He's the guy driving the drugs. I mean, they don't even know, he doesn't know what's going on. I mean, he's just a complete dope, the guy. I mean, he's got a demonic spirit. He's beyond dementia. He's got a demonic spirit. There's a possession of demonic spirits right now in that house. John, I can't believe you said that. My sponsors want me to say that. So all of you realize that's why we say what we do. Because last night's town hall, right, Christy? When you're in Cuba and you see people, the passion that comes out. I mean, I didn't know about the death truck. Wait till you hear about the death truck in Cuba. I mean, you guys are going to be speaking kind of close to each other at our event. Maureen and Sabine, and Maureen, you're going to have Frank just hug on you. How about Frank, right? When Frank starts going, Sabine?
Oh, my. And he's a big guy, and the passion and the belief that even though he's seen all this horror, but he still believes that it can get better. And we can change it. All of us can change it if we step up.
But you got to get educated.
Yeah.
But you can't do it alone. You got to get educated and be empowered. So let me ask Maureen. Then we'll go to Sabine. Obviously, the border right now. What goes through your mind every day? I mean, it's so difficult to watch and see.
You know, it's difficult. It's painful. The last month that they have records for, there was over 180,000 illegal aliens that come across the border, and of course, my mind goes to how many innocent Americans are going to be killed by these illegal aliens? They have rapists coming across the borders, you know, murderers. We don't know what diseases they're bringing. And now with COVID running so rampant, they're flying all these illegal aliens into the interior states. You know, they're not staying at the border. They're spreading COVID, you know, and we have President Biden saying, you know, mask up again.
Wait, Maureen, on my show, we don't say President Biden. We have to say Biden.
Okay, Biden.
Now that right there would get me kicked off YouTube in a second. But I got to answer to my grandfather right now. Him and Dom. I have a feeling Matthew's probably a little calmer. Dom and my they're all hanging out together in heaven right now, along with Judy's child. But I tell you right now, you got to tell the truth. My grandfather said you got to tell the truth. The truth is that man did not win the presidency.
You're right. He
stole the election from China, from Wuhan, and all the patents for all the vaccines, all the patents were pre-made prior to these labeled diseases being released, because they can patent a disease when a vaccine is made prior to that. So don't get me started on that. We will have a doctor at our event. And there's a doctor speaking at my event, cannot announce her name, because when we do, because we're not playing games here at all anymore. And guys, the games are over. It is people talk about holding a line. I'm about to release a t-shirt saying we're over the line. We are equipped, looking for the enemy and taking them out. Like Julio said last night, he went in the army at 18. He goes, you got to look in the enemy, know the enemy, and kill him. So Maureen, continue, please, and talk about calling Biden.
So, you know, he's trying to get everybody to mask up again. You know, COVID is real. I've been through a year and a half of COVID at work, and, you know, the deaths really were occurring, and it has gotten better. But there's no doubt in my mind that this was not an accident. You know, this was planned by China. This disease was sent to us by China.
Right.
They're trying to destroy us. They're our enemy, and they're in bed with Biden, or Biden is in bed with them. There's just no other way around it.
Right. I think, and that's why it's so difficult for you to see like you said earlier. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's going to happen. What happened to your son is going to happen to other citizens of the United States of America, because there's a tsunami of illegals coming across the border. It's not like a few. It is the number one problem right now in America is the border. That's the number one problem. That is a total weaponized warfare in America. It's because they know they're going to vote Democrat, and that's why they want no ID. I won't. It's obviously the show's featured on YouTube, lovely ladies, tonight, but no ID for vote. You got to be an idiot to even think that's just ludicrous. You need ID for everything in this country. So even yesterday, to change my hotel key, can I see right? No, you call me racist? I need a ID for hotel key. You're racist, right, Christy? I said, you're just a racist. You're asking me for a hotel key ID. I want to check into my room. What racist? Called racist. How stupid is that for ID? Let that sink in, everybody. That would definitely.
And these people coming across the border, these illegal aliens have no intention of assimilating like our ancestors that came over as legal immigrants. They wanted to be Americans. They want to assimilate. The illegal aliens coming now have their hands out. They're coming here to get all the freebies.
That's right.
That's being promised to them by the Biden administration.
Biden, the boy, that boy's going down. See, my butt got wiped. You see that dope? He's a dope. He's just a dope. He's gone. John, that's not nice. Don't pray. Don't send me an email, and don't pray for me, because I don't want your kind of prayers. Because this is a war in the country of America, right? And we're over the line. We've been training and prepared where people go, hold the line. I'm over the line. I'm looking every day, right? Like this, right, Christy? Every day. That's why we, the people, fight back. It's so important, because we're out with patriots that feel the same way, and they get encouraged and inspired by what we share. And I want to thank all of you that are on Rumble right now. And David, thank you for sharing. And all of you that are on Rumble, people, for Christy for people on Rumble, the chat box is to the right of the live video and also below the video, correct? If you're on a mobile, it is below the video. Yes. So you guys can start chatting away in there. I see David's in there, and it's awesome, because it's so important. So, because you guys got to realize we are patriots. I'm not carrying down, I'm not backing down. You can't censor me anymore. And our sponsors and supporters, I want to thank all of you. And I'll be going through all the sponsors for our event, and We the People Fight Back event coming up. But Sabine, just go back, even because I think I interjected and I took us down a different path. When you were in a serious situation with your son, until you heard Kennedy Trump then say he's going to expose, he called them murderers, rapists, illegals. He called the MS-30. He called out where they were, and you literally had a suicide note written. You were ready to take your life. Yeah.
Well, I had it all planned out, because after Dominic's death, he was my only child, my best friend. We shared a household. We did things together, went on vacation together. And the media stayed away. Once I realized it was an illegal, nobody wanted to talk about that anymore. So I started sliding down in that horrible hole of depression that many of us go into after something like that happens. And Anthony, back then he was my boyfriend, now my husband, he had no idea what I had planned. I had it planned out, have my life insurance all written out that it goes to him. And I wanted to make it look like an accident. And I'm walking through my living room. It was 2015 when Trump came down that escalator. And I wasn't in politics back then. It wasn't on my radar. And I used to watch him on Apprentice, and I always loved when he said, "You're fired. You're fired." It was just hilarious. So I'm thinking, is he doing a new show? And there's his wife. Oh, wow. So I'm almost kept walking into the kitchen, but he got up on the podium and announced that he was running for presidency. And I stopped. And I heard blah, 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 illegal immigration. And I dropped to my knees. And I looked up, and it was my sign from God and Dominic that there was more to come. That don't take yourself out. I had no idea what was to come, that I would be a guest speaker at the RNC or go to the White House or be on your show. I had no clue what was coming my way. I just knew that moment that finally there was somebody that mentioned it, because Hillary didn't. Hillary told us what she will do for illegals and refugees. And that's when Anthony and I ran to the registrar office and changed to Republican.
Wow.
changed my life forever. And Maureen brought up something and you about with the border. I don't know if you remember in 2019, Biden, when he did his little, he was still a little bit more alert. He was at some event where he was talking and he leaned into a guy sitting there and the guy started looking very uncomfortable. And Biden told him that America can easily, in a heartbeat, take 2 million more migrants. Well, he's almost there. He said it in 2019. And now I look back and I said, this has been planned. Like Maureen said, with the virus, all of that has been planned because we woke up because of Trump. People like me who weren't politically involved started waking up and speaking and not backing down. So what do? They put us into fear. So we follow, and it worked for a little while. Well, I don't fear this COVID anymore. I'm tired of being told what to do and treat me like a child while these sick COVID infected illegals are coming over the border, get on airplanes and buses and are sent all over. We had 15 buses that went to Shreveport, Louisiana, and these people were dropped off, some of them sick, and the mayor and nobody had even a clue that they were coming. So for people, it's time to stop whispering illegal immigrants.
That's right.
Speak up about it. Get loud, because people think Kate Steinle, Molly Tibbetts, Maureen's son, Matthew, Dominic, we're just a few. No, every day Americans get killed or injured by illegal aliens. We have them rip us off. They collect welfare. They get all the freebies that we taxpayers pay for. And they keep coming because Biden told them to. We'll take care of you. And there are about 150 people from 150 countries are coming through our borders unchecked, unvetted. How do we know Raul isn't really Paulo? And because they're finding all kind of documentation, passports, ID cards on the other side in Mexico at the riverbank before they come over. We are being played. It's costing our money, while our own veterans, our own homeless, and that's a whole nother thing about the COVID, because you would think there would be no more homeless. They would be all dead.
Let's interject. Let's time out there right there. What you just stated, Judy, excuse me, I'm reading Judy's comment. Judy said that they were dropped off in Baton Rouge also. Yeah. I contacted the news, but no one wants to hear my side. Judy, that's awesome. Judy, if you could write something up like that, we'll publish it on the Conservative Business Journal. Judy Zito. Y'all, Judy Zito. Absolutely. We got to expose the news. And it's what you said. You would think that the homeless population would be just like a massive pandemic, right? Like a massive pandemic.
Flies.
I answer that for me.
Maureen she's a professional in this field, and I trust her when she says something that has anything to do with medical. Well, with everything she says, I trust her, but especially with that. There is a COVID virus, but the way they ratchet it up, the way they try to keep us down and keep us in fear, because now they want us to have the V for vaccinated on the forehead and NV not vaccinated, maybe put a little yellow star. Let me see who did that. Hitler did that with the Jews. Pretty soon that's what it is, because they learned they can't control us any longer like you do. Yeah, we're not gonna back off. We're not gonna shut up. And I don't mind listening to somebody else's opinion, and I learn from somebody else. But when I have the ashes of my child in here, it's going to be a hard road for you to explain to me why this is okay. And, it's just one more dead. He could have been killed by an American and so forth and so on, because that's what we hear. And so my thing is, people need to stop sitting at home and just nodding and saying, it's not much I can do. Yes, you can. You don't have to go on any show. You don't have to run down the street screaming. But talk to your friends and neighbors. Educate yourself. Check with your school board if your children are in school and see what they're learning if they're aware. See if there are illegals in your child's school, because they don't have to have a vaccination record like your child. Your child won't even get enrolled if you don't have that. But they pump our schools full, and it goes on and on and on. And it's time to get loud and be a proud American and
Right.
letting them call you racist and shut you down, because they're going to call you whatever they want anyway.
No,
I got heated.
No, it's I want to bring Maureen on. It's so important. I want you to look over the awesome mom's shoulders tonight. You see Dominic there, and you see Matthew there. These are two young men where their lives were cut short by illegal aliens. And I want all the conservatives to realize, if you're not discussing this topic, you're not a conservative. You're not a conservative. There's no policies from the criminal. Criminals don't have policies. So what's trying right now is just, and we have to believe stronger than ever, and we have to expose the illegals. We have to expose the businesses who are hiring them, and don't be scared. Don't cower down. Don't be concerned about threats. And thank you, Judy, for she said she's going to share us about with Baton Rouge. Our website's been hacked 4 times in the last month. We're actually rebuilding our site again with someone else, bulletproof again. And it's interesting when. Maureen, just back to you. What do people say about what do they say on the other side about the driver's license? Like the people that are there that see you get booed. What do people say to you one-on-one as you leave? Like the patriots who are probably afraid to it's amazing. I guarantee, we've never asked this one-on-one or any other show. I guarantee that there's people there to talk to you afterwards to say, hey, I'm glad what you're doing, but they let the boos go on. They let the people boo versus standing up and say, let her speak her piece. See, we, the people, have to stand up. That's why faith stands and fear runs. The world famous bracelet, the 5 words, faith stands and fear runs. This is right here. We stand by faith and fear will run. And that's why it's, we, the people, fight back. It's so important. So Maureen, just sharing that. Share how many people encourage you, yet they didn't stand up and you were getting booed.
So there were probably 9 or 10 other people there with me. This happened so quickly, and I only had the 3 minutes to speak, and it was about halfway through my testimony that they booed me. One of the men that was with my group did come up to right behind me just as I was finishing testifying. They were shocked. They did, speak out and say, why wasn't he gavelled? It was a man that booed me. Why wasn't he gavelled like all of us were gavelled? But then we were just threatened that we were going to be kicked out because we were talking out of order without being called upon. So, it's definitely a one-sided system. And there were people from my group that hadn't testified yet. Of course, you're there all day long. You're there for 10, 12 hours, and they take us at the very end when all the media has left. There was no media left to record that. Most of the people have left. There's only, a handful of people left in the room when we get to testify, so nobody even hears our testimony.
As I sit there and I hear the word media, you're not media if you're not sharing the real news. I just want to do quick station identification. My name is John Lemby, the founder of the Conservative Business Journal and the host of the CBJ Real News podcast show. This is a live show, and I have Sabine and Maureen on, as you saw, and I'll be bringing them back on here in another second. Make sure you guys do support all of our sponsors and supporters, and also make sure you're here for our We the People Fight Back event, which is August 20th and 21st of 2021, coming up here at the end of next month. And there's only 20 VIP tickets remaining, correct, Christy, I believe? There's less than 20 VIP tickets, which your VIP ticket includes admission to the entire full 2 days, interaction with all the speakers, taking pictures with the speaker. They don't walk on stage and like they're hiding God and disappear. The speakers are all around and taking notes, loving on people. You guys get our food is tremendous. We have gourmet lunch, no cheap white box lunch with old cheese and washed up bread and potato chips. We have awesome food. And you guys get a great swag bag in a way, and with some great patriotic gifts. And what I like, one of the greatest parts, you get a 20-page workbook where you guys will leave the ability to take notes and learn and understand what's going on, and to take this back to your local community and be able to educate people and empower yourself and inspire yourself. And the topics we cover: election fraud, election integrity, Second Amendment, why gun ownership is awesome, obviously legal immigration, the border crisis, communism, Cuba issues, education, school issues. We're having Rebecca Friedrichs, who spoke at the 2020 Republican National Convention, that exposed all of the school union fraud. She's coming up from California to speak at our event. And then we got Dr. Linda Lee Tarver, who's testified many times in Detroit, Michigan, for the election fraud. So guys, it's going to be such an amazing event. And then we got Pastor Greg Locke, who's going to bring a strong word. He called CNN out today, Pastor Greg Locke. So make sure you guys call or text 561-847-3467, or go to WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com. And tonight we had a great special. So I just wanted to go full screen with this. We got a We the People shirt we're going to throw in as a bonus for you tonight, and a Faith Stands For bracelet also as a bonus. And the early bird special ends on Saturday. The investment will go up $50 more a ticket. All of our tickets are VIP, and I want to thank all of our sponsors and supporters that make all this happen. And those of you interested in being a sponsor supporter, our sponsors and supporters all have come back from April, because I believe in capitalism. I believe that all of us have to support each other in the message here to every conservative business. Every conservative should be supported and strengthened. Also, make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram and just search out CBJ Real News. CBJ Real News. It's all over the screen. Just go to Telegram, put in CBJ Real News, and join a channel, because we're getting I'll probably be kicked off Facebook here. I would say probably the next week or so. So definitely follow me on Telegram. So let me bring Maureen and Sabine back on. So you ladies, I'm excited for you to be at the event. I'm excited for you to be empowered, encouraged, and really, speak the truth about what's going on. Because Sabine, you've been in some situations where the interviewers will kind of navigate the conversation because you won't say the truth, right?
Yeah, they. I remember one interview. It was before Trump was elected, and she said, "So, do you really think that Donald Trump's gonna be able to build a wall?" And I wanted to roll my eyes and say, and I told her, I said, "Really? He's building skyscrapers. I'm pretty sure he can figure it out how to build a wall."
That's right.
They pinned me up against an illegal alien who was there with her, who told me that her 4-year-old is scared of Donald Trump. And I did have to roll my eyes because, and Maureen touched on that. The media will tell 5 stories, sob stories. Oh, this family is escaping poverty and crime. And one of us. And then it's like, yeah, well, it doesn't happen all that often. The saddest part to me right now with this COVID is my sister and my niece are in Germany. They want to come see me. They wanted to be here when I had to relive the day my son was killed 9 years ago. They wanted to be here to lift me up. They can't come. They cannot fly into America because there's a ban because of COVID. So I told them, I said, how about flying into Tijuana, come across with some coyotes, pay, I help you out with a little bit of money, just get over the border. You're going to get some free hotel rooms. You get a free flight to Arkansas, and we see how you're going to get back. But we can do it that way. We are being played. We are being played. This does not just happen once in a while. And our children Matthew and Dominic are not the only ones. Every day, I talked to a mom who just lost her son, I'll say about 4 weeks ago, killed in Idaho by an illegal in a head-on collision because the guy was 4 times over the legal limit. You don't hear nothing about it. You're not going to hear anything on the news or in the paper. You know why? Because they call them Houston man. Miami man. That's the giveaway. They don't call them illegal aliens. They don't call them undocumented immigrants or migrants. They don't tell the truth. And as long as we don't hear the truth, we can't change things. And as long as we don't stand up for what's right, not what I believe. That don't even matter. But what's right? We can't change it. So we have to ban. And that's one thing, John, about your event. And the last one, I still remember sitting on the stage and looking at, it was at least 15 or 20 rows deep, and every seat was taken. And every one of your attendees, you could hear a pin drop when we shared our stories. These people pay attention, they take notes, they listen. They're not there to meet the next celebrity. They want to be a part of something.
Right.
And that what blew my mind about how your event was hosted and held, and the love afterwards. And it wasn't about who's the biggest celebrity. It was just, we love on each other. We laughed, we cried with each other. I'm just over the moon excited to see you guys soon and see all the people that I now call friends that I met at your event.
I appreciate that. And I actually have your video for, and I'm going to bring Maureen back on here in another minute. I actually have your video of your review from the last event. It's very important. You said a lot of celebrities, they try to create the celebrity status during the Trump era. And I tell people too, as you know, I've written 20 books, and I wrote my first book on pro-life 15 years ago. I just didn't start this game the last 4 years. You know, our wedding day, on our cake was the flag, and somewhere around here, you've seen me show it. We actually had, my logo is the flag. We have a flag everywhere on our set here tonight. But I want to play a quick review from the event back in April.
Thank you, Christy and John, for an amazing event. Amazing is not even a word. It's bigger than amazing. I have never been to an event like this. Organized, well run, amazing people, wonderful people, supportive people. I'm walking out of here on cloud 9. I met so many new friends, and that's, again, because of you guys. Like, you hooked me up with other good friends before that. I'm blessed beyond words. Thank you.
Why would you say someone else should come to this event?
I think everybody needs to come to this event. It's not just that you gain new information. The relationships you build, the camaraderie. I'm trying to find new words that even describe what this means. Everything about it. The people that talk to each other, never met each other, and find like-minded things. And we all want one thing. We want to live in peace here. We want to live with our faith without being prosecuted. We want to live for our children and leave a better place for them. And that's why I'm still fighting, because I want somebody else's child and grandchild and grandchild to have a great world, not to worry about being called names, being called racist, or have to do without. We got to prosper, and the only way we can do it when we all work together, like this team here. That's how we're going to do it, one by one.
That's awesome.
That's how, even as I watched that, Maureen, I can't wait for people to love on you, right, Sabine?
Yes.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, a way renewed. I can't wait.
It's so important too, and especially the way God moved. Last time you suffered through her Hawaii trip in April,
Yeah.
and but I did not know. I know when I pulled. Obviously, I've interviewed you a couple of times. I knew it was 2011 was your son being, the situation, and it's difficult for me to say the word killed when a son being. It's very even difficult for me to say that, but it's 10 years to that day, and it's amazing how God just moved, and people are going to love on you and care about you, and everybody there, Sabine, as you said, there's no, I'm sick and tired of celebrities. I'm sick and tired of, we the people fight back. And I told just a speaker yesterday, I said, man, John, you're being booked everywhere. I said, yeah, because I give I'm a patriot. I don't have a big name, all that stupid stuff. It's that stupid. Who's your big name? You got to be an idiot. A big name speaker, to me, the biggest names at this event are Sabine and Maureen. They have lost a child to illegal alien. And what's the number one problem in America is illegal border crossing. And if you get inspired and encouraged enough that you would not want to see this happen to any of your family, friends, or anyone you know, then this event is worth it all, right? Right, Maureen? What do you want to say here in the final few minutes here about Wait till you hear Maurice sing from Italy, the opera singer. He's got the whole hotel's going to hear him. We have two singers. We have Hadass Levy, who's an Israeli American singer, an American Idol finalist. She's going to be singing also. And then Maurice is from Italy, who's an opera singer. They might hear it in Arkansas and Boston when he sings. And he just loves the country. He just breaks down emotion. He just loves. And he's a legal immigrant once again. He just loves the country. So Maureen, what do you want to say to people in the what can they do in their everyday walk to assist you and Sabine and the other angel families from Aviac? And we'll be giving out Aviac's website here. I know Chrissy's given a couple times in the chat, but I'll give it out here on the actual show. So what do you want people to do? What can I do for you?
There's so many things people can do. Little things like when they're having somebody to come do work on their home, just ask them their immigration status. Ask for proof that they're here legally. I can't tell you how many times I've turned somebody away because they couldn't provide that for me. They can write to their legislators and voice their opinions on illegal immigration.
So that's a phenomenal point, Maureen. And this is something else. This is why we love interviewing you. This is very important. So you've actually turned away people at your door, a contractor or someone working. You said, "Show me your papers." Chrissy does that all the time, but share how you do that, how you did that, please.
We just tell them, the truth. Our son was killed by an illegal alien, and we cannot allow anybody on our property who's not in this country legally. It would be like spitting on my son's grave. There's no way I'm going to condone that. There's no way I'm going to pay anybody any money for their services if they can't prove to me they're here legally. We had one landscaper, and he happened to be a friend of ours, and he had been our landscaper for years, and all of a sudden I saw a new guy mowing another neighbor's yard, and I went over there and asked him, was this guy here legally? And he told me I was being ridiculous, and we're friends, we're this, we're that, but he was dancing around the question. He wouldn't give me an answer, and I said, don't come over and do our yard until you can prove to me that he's here legally. And it did end our friendship, but I don't care.
But that's the first time I've heard her say that, right, Christy? Yeah. I want you to say it again. That's why I removed your friend Sabine from the screen for a second. I'll bring Sabine back on. That is so important what you said. It's like spitting in my son's face. Just like many of you know, my brother, I was 11 years of age. My brother was 14 and passed away of the C word, C-A-N-C-E-R. I've been speaking about health my entire life. I'm 56. I'll be 56 this year. My dad's 92. My mom's 90. They will not take the executive biochemical warfare product. It's not a vaccine. It takes 10 to 12 years to get a vaccine approved. I've been speaking about health my entire career. I am not about to take health advice from people who jumped on a vaccine bandwagon. And as of today, I will be sharing some more statistics tomorrow in another video, and I'm going to take it to the next level. So it would be like spitting in my face, about health. I mean, interesting, right, Maureen? So I think it's very important what you said. I mean, that is so important. I want everyone to utilize Maureen's story. That's so inspirational to say, look, it'd be like spitting on my son's grave. It's like spitting on my son's life. Maureen, I give you an enormous courage clap there. I mean, that's just tremendous, right, Christy? That's right. I mean, what do people say? Like the response, like, what do they say when they hear that?
Well, in this case, he just turned and walked away. And, and my husband, when I came back home, I was furious. And, he went out and talked to the owner of the business, and the owner admitted, he's like, I could hire him cheaper. I get him for half the price that I would hire an American worker for. And my husband said, well, we're done. You don't have our business anymore. You lost our business. And he lost several other neighbors' business too, because when word spread.
Wow.
And he ended up, and this guy ended up selling his house and leaving the neighborhood.
Maureen, that's something. Definitely remind me at our event. I want to unpack that. That, Christy, can change the country. Because I want everyone to take a picture with Maureen and Sabine and say, look, their kids were killed by illegal aliens. Do you have documented workers? Because it'd be spitting because you become friends, like Maureen, as Sabine's, you become friends with everyone. That's incredible, Maureen. What you just stated, that's game changing. That's right, Sabine. I mean, that's what
how even Dominic's death ties into what Maureen just said. The guy that killed my son was on his way to be picked up by a van that would pick up illegal alien workers all the time across from Home Depot, which was right down a block down the street. And every one of us seen these guys standing across from Home Depot and Lowe's, and Dominic's killer saw the van and raced into the side street to park. That's why he hit Dominic. He claimed he didn't see him to get in that van, because Americans still believe that if you hire somebody and you don't ask about their immigration status and you save $10 or $20, you got to remember you are now aiding and abetting illegal immigration,
Right.
and you are taking the job from an American, like Maureen with the guy, the lawnmower. That could have been the job for a young college student or high school student getting some. No, it's taken away because they underbid. And we had this issue here with a family member who has a landscaping business. And he talked to me and told me I'm too harsh and I shouldn't talk about these poor people. And we got enough space for everybody. And I told him, I said, you're charging $30 to cut the grass. Wait till somebody comes, charges $20, and you're going to be out of business. And what happened? A little while later, he had to agree that somebody was underbidding him, and he lost business. So it does affect every American on every level, and it's not worth it to save $10, $20. Know who you hire and know who you let into your house or into your country.
That's why we the people fight back, right, Christy?
Right.
I got to show one more video and then I'll recap with you ladies. This is just that right there is such an important section about what we can do to take a stand. And then I want to show the video. Then I want to ask you about ICE, how much you love ICE and you love law enforcement, and how important and how important law enforcement is. But here's a little "We the People Fight Back" kind of a little promo. And I think all of you have to fight back. You can't stay alone. You can't be alone. You can't stay in your house. You can't be a keyboard warrior. If you're a keyboard warrior on Facebook, they're going to censor you anyway and shut you down. I mean, I've seen your Twitter following, I think, drop by 12,000, right, Sabine?
Yeah, it became more. I was at almost 40,000. I'm now at 21,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's why.
it's okay.
That's why, because I want to build a huge presence for Aviac and you guys on Telegram. I want to blow it out. You know, it's when I had General Michael Flynn and Lynn Wood both share our interview with General Flynn last week, when I had General Flynn a week ago today, General Flynn. And we've been going back and forth, General Flynn, a lot with emails, and I'll be sending him this show too. He loves the Angel families. He knows 1,000% from a military perspective, you have to have a closed, secure border for a safety of a nation. I mean, you have to have a safety of a nation. So let me show this real quick, and then we'll come back on and recap. Even as I watched that, the topics we're going to discuss, I mean, just the education process, because you met Dominique, Sabine, at the last event, the young lady that just unleashed about education with her and Rebecca together. Rebecca is the bull from California. That we're going to have such an event. And guys, this is where you get empowered and encouraged. And if you're looking for a celebrity event, this is not the event for you. You're not going to have these big name pundits who will actually use the word Biden and president together because they have to. We don't have to. I can't answer to God and my dad and my grandfather. That's lying. That's a lie if I say that. So what do you want to say in the final words, Sabine? I'll give you first, and then we'll go to Maureen. You shut the house down tonight with that example. That's tremendous. I'm going to use it all the time. I'm going to take pictures of all of you, Judy and Doobie and Chris and Brian, everyone we've interviewed. We have that whole banner Christy made about of all your children that were killed by illegal aliens, and take that and say, do you have legal papers? These are friends of mine whose kids were killed. I'll be spitting in their face. That's tremendous, right, Christy? That's when I get so moved. That's why we do what we do. We get Sabine. So what do you want to say to everyone to kind of just wrap up and conclude? I know you have your son's friends there to come in and they're kind of reminiscing and tell everyone who's with you this. And I thank you for your time tonight, taken away from your family tonight.
My son's best friend, Jared, his wife Jennifer, and the kids Jake and Ginger. They all came from California to spend 5 days with us, just to love on us and talk about Dominic. They miss him as much as we do, and they come out every year. Last year they couldn't make it with COVID, but this year they do. So we'll love on each other and just have fun. And you had mentioned ICE agents and our law enforcement. I want people to realize that they are running towards danger. They deal with this danger. We need to lift them up, not bash them, not call them racist. Educate your friends. Talk to them, not at them. Plant some seeds. You might not be able to change somebody's mind, but plant seeds with facts. Talk about our stories, Maureen's story, my story. Go to aviac.us and see the other victims' stories and tell them that we don't want their names and their children's names on our banner. I don't want to call them and talk to them like I'm talking right now with Dominic, one of Dominic's friends who lost her daughter 3 weeks ago to fentanyl. It was a fentanyl-laced pill. That's a whole nother issue that we can talk about for days, that is coming from China through Mexico into our country, killing our people. So be educated about it. Learn a little bit more about it. Don't be uncomfortable. Don't let anybody call you racist. Speak out, because we fight so you never have to.
We do people fight back, and you had an opportunity meeting my mother-in-law. Well, you're really we're part of the family, right?
A great time, and it was again one of those God moments. Out of everywhere in Arkansas, they were 5 miles from my house, and we met for dinner and just had.
Did you understand her?
Oh, we both understood each other, and somebody else might not understood us, but yes, we didn't need a translator.
But that's why we fight. I know Chrissy's friend April's on, is coming down from Tennessee, right, for the event. And I talk about, my mother-in-law Debbie and my stepdad, my stepfather-in-law, stepdad. That's I got all confused there. My stepfather-in-law, right? I don't know. David, they never voted till Trump.
Yeah.
And I say they stole my family's vote. You stole my family's asset. I will go at you. I'm over the line. I'm in, and I'm like Jason Sheffield, SEAL Team 6 that went in. Justin, you go in, SEAL Team 6, you go and eliminate the enemy. I'm all this, hold the line. Stop. Somebody said, and I said, he's holding the line on Facebook. You're not holding the line like this. Get over the line. Get out to an event. Get a picture with Maureen and Sabine. Hug on them. I will protect. I will go back. We have people coming from Georgia, Connecticut, Alabama, California, Massachusetts. We have people from 19 different states, Pennsylvania, Ohio. We have an unbelievable story coming in from Ohio, how to start a grassroots movement. But you got to get around people, and it is so important. That's why we fight. You have to know your why. What are you fighting for? And my little niece, you met Allie. You met little Allie, right?
Yeah, we're fighting for Maureen's grandson. He's the little guy. So
That's right.
For him and her other son, and for her friends, for our friends, for neighbors, for people we don't even know. We don't want you sitting in this seat and talk about past tense about your child, my 30-year-old son that had dreams but could never live them. He should be right now with his best friend sitting out there drinking a cold beer and having fun in the pool with those kids that they have, and he can't. So that's why we do this.
And that's why we do, one of the reasons why we started Conservative Business Journal as the founder. I'll speak about it tomorrow night. I speak live all the time. The 17 reasons why we started this mission many years ago. One is legal immigration. Build a strong border, no border, no country, a strong border. So, Maureen, what do you want? I want to give a shout out to Kevin White. You met Kevin Sabine at the last event. He came in from Ohio.
Yeah.
Kevin is he's a white Clinton supporter. No, he's a Black conservative Air Force veteran. Great guy, Kevin. Kevin's been on the show numerous times. He was one of the
Yay,
celebrity
Black.
speakers. Yeah,
Yay, Black.
Kevin's awesome. That's right. He's a racist, Kevin. And so, Maureen, what do you want to say in the final words about ICE, law enforcement, and what you dropped a wisdom bomb tonight about that, about letting people know how they can protect your family, Sabine's family, and not hire people that are illegal.
But, you always hear parents saying they want a better life for their children than what they had. Even people that have had a good life, they want a better life for their children. They want to leave a better world. People need to wake up. We are about to lose the country as we know it. We are being overrun. Our border is being invaded. It's not a crisis now. It's an invasion.
Right.
And we are going to end up being like the third world countries these people are fleeing if people don't start doing their own research, stop listening to the mainstream media, do their homework, and act upon it. And I don't want any other parents to go through what I'm going through. People ask me all the time, why am I doing this? I can't bring Matthew back. No, I can't bring Matthew back. And I'll never know if any lives are saved by me and Sabine and the other angel parents speaking out.
Well, they are. They're
but
saved.
I hope and I pray, and whenever I pray to God for guidance. He keeps putting this pathway in front of me. This is my life's mission now: is to try to prevent other people from being killed and other parents going through what we are going through, and to save this country as we know it.
And I tell you two things, like Maureen, what you said tonight about addressing workers, about legal papers, that's going to be really God's really, as a capitalism strategist, somebody really understands just the ability to brand and market something. That's really your brand. I heard that for the first time tonight. That's so powerful. It's like you, Sabine, and I want you to close in. It's the dreamers. Every time I hear about you, obviously I know you very well. I consider you part of our family. I will do anything for you and your husband and your family. You know that.
Absolutely.
And you got dreamers. Everybody, you always say, well, my Dom had a dream. You always hear, well, there's this whole dreamer scenario, which that's one thing I know you get passionate about. So let it rip on that, and then we'll conclude. And I appreciate the time for both of you.
We have to fight for our American dreamers, for the legal immigrant dreamers. Call your Congress people, call anybody that's in office, and let them know no amnesty for DACAs because their parents brought them, because then you award those illegal alien parents who brought their children here. You aid and abet. No amnesty, no DACA amnesty, nothing. Illegal aliens have one right, and that is to be deported swiftly. Make sure your voice is heard. Let people know in power that you elected. Let them know that you don't want amnesty. You'd be surprised when they get flooded in their phone lines and emails. They might react. But if you don't do anything, well, then they think everything's okay. So wake up and start speaking out.
That's tremendous. That's right, Christy. Yeah. Any final words for Sabine and Maureen?
Tremendous show. It's amazing.
Tremendous show. We love you, ladies. We got you back at every single corner. Anytime, you're part of the family. We love you guys. I'm so excited, Maureen, for you to be loved on.
Yes.
And Sabine, obviously, also. And just to share the message about dreamers. And I love that. I love that about if you hire anyone illegally, because you said it in your words, you'll be spitting on my son's death. And that's this is how we fight back. This is how one person hears this and makes a difference. And I just want to reaffirm what you said, Maureen. You're definitely saving lives by spreading the message, by your words. I know how hard Judy fights for her child that got killed and her grandchildren. So it's so important. And I want to thank all of you that are sponsors for our event. I want to thank 239 Realty. I want to thank Gwen Nuvak, she's a conservative writer. I want to thank Jason Beal, STZ Network, coming in from South Carolina. Gwen's coming in from New York, a sponsor. 239 Realty locally in Florida. Latasha, you met Latasha, Pretty Lips Company. She's back. She's awesome. Kingdom Advisory Group and Freedom One Coffee. You guys, you make these events possible because you're conservative businesses who want your voices heard, and we believe in that. And I thank all of you for supporting and sponsoring. So with that said, guys, make sure you're here. Make sure you call or text 561-847-3467. We got a special We the People shirt as a bonus tonight. And the early bird special ends on Saturday. And you get a Fate Stands Fear On bracelet as a bonus with that too. And you get the value of the event's incredible. Sabine will tell you, she goes to many events, and our event, I say it humbly, the food alone is worth it.
Yes, absolutely. The best food ever. I'm already drooling a little bit right now.
It's good. It's good. And all the food's there at the way this event's set up. It's in the room, and you don't go 9,000 miles down the street for Denny's, and everybody pays a bill, and they come back 6 hours late, and everyone's a mess, and none of that fiasco goes on.
Yep.
So, and we got 2 celebrities, Maureen Maloney from Massachusetts and Sabine Coulter from Arkansas, celebrity big name speakers, right? Right. You guys are awesome. God bless you and thank you, and have a great night. You're awesome, Sabine, Maureen. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you in August.
Good night, guys.
Good
Thank you
night.
very much. Good night.